Assalamu alaikum, hello, peace be upon you. Today I'd like to talk about Sharia. Sharia and Islam. How is it related, and what exactly are they? And there's a lot of misconception about these things nowadays. Sharia literally means the path to a watering way. The watering path that leads to water. And Islam is the religion. Sharia can be classified as basically legislation or the laws of that religion of Islam. And if we zoom out a bit, then Islam is the religion of all the prophets. And all the prophets, they came from God, from Allah. And there's many names, and people call them with different in different languages with different names. But all prophets were men of God, and they came from Allah. They were sent by Him. They were all men, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which means Allah the Exalted, He inspired them, and He they preached His message to mankind. And basically every religion preached the same basic things. And we can say in Islam, we say that the Sharia was the legislation of that religion. And we say that all the religions came from Allah, and all of them the true religions, they had a Sharia. So we say the Sharia of Moses, the Sharia of Jesus, peace be upon them. And a Muslim has to believe in all of these prophets to be considered a Muslim. And we believe in our prophet as the last of the prophets. And he completes, he described himself as, and he described prophethood, as he said, to paraphrase and to quote, is that like a house which is beautiful in every way, except that there is one brick missing. And he said, this is me, and Allah, He sent me, and I am that one brick that completes that house. And the house is built of the bricks and of the messengers that came before me. The meaning of what he said. So Sharia, we were talking about Sharia. Sharia is legislation. And Sharia was sent, the Sharia of all the prophets was sent to help man understand and guide man through the life in this world. Because life in this world is temporary, and nobody denies leaving this world. And what is the best way? What is the best way? The most scientifically, spiritually, pleasing, and the purest way to live life is through the Sharia that the prophets brought. Each prophet brought to his people. And all of the Sharias, they are linked, and they tell of the exact same thing. And we can understand this through, for example, when a little kid goes to school and he has, the first grade, and then he has a second grade and the third grade, and he continues going. But the first grade teaches the 4 base core subjects, which are, history of the country he's in, science and mathematics and grammar of the language he speaks. And, when he goes in the second grade won't negate what he learned in the first grade. It will just build upon that. And as his intellect expands, and as he moves forward in life and gains experiences, his intellect expands and he learns more. And what he's taught in the 12th grade is the same exact core subjects, which is English, grammar, or whatever language he speaks, and science and history and math. But it's at a greater and more advanced stage than he had learned in the first grade. So likewise, we can understand Sharia in the same exact way that it built, the Sharias that came after built upon the Sharia of the messengers that passed before. So starting from Adam, a lot of different names, same root words and same person we all talk about. He was the first man who was sent to this earth, and he was also given a legislation. He was given a way of life, a code of laws. And these rules, if mankind, if his children, progeny, if they followed them, they will be successful, and and they will be successful in this life first, and then more so in the hereafter. So Sharia basically protects 5 things. Sharia protects, honors, and preserves 5 things, if we can narrow it down. First of all, it starts with preserving life. Then all the religions, murder is impermissible. Taking the life of an innocent person is impermissible. In any way possible. Every single religion, and we can say in the new vocabulary that we learned, every single Sharia protects life, and every single Sharia protects religion. So the religion you are of, it encourages the preaching of that religion and discourages turning away from or abandoning that religion. And then it protects intellect of a person. So you would see in the sacred books, they discourage intoxication. They discourage the losing of a person's intellect, of his sanity, of his his well-being. And then they protect lineage. Sharia protects lineage, the lineage of a person. So it's encouraged to get married. It's discouraged. The same reason why homosexuality is prohibited in the religious texts, because the lineage of mankind comes at stake, because man can only procreate when this union of the husband and wife happens, and marriage is encouraged, and extramarital relationship is discouraged, because the same reason why, because lineage is disrupted. A kid who grows up without a father, or a kid who grows up without a mother, he will be more prone to he will have a less developed education, we can argue, but usually, than a kid who grows up with the supervision of both the father and the mother. And then wealth. So this is the 5th thing that every single Sharia, the legislation of every single religion, protects, which is the wealth. You're not allowed to steal the wealth of somebody. You're not allowed to to gamble your wealth for that reason, because you're wasting your wealth. You're not allowed to waste food. You're not allowed to the highway robbery. They used to have capital punishment for that back in the days, because that's the wealth of somebody that you're trespassing on and desecrating. So just to recap quickly, Sharia is legislation, and every religion has its Sharia, and they do not contradict each other. They build upon each other, and Sharia protects 5 basic fundamental rights of man, 5 fundamental things, and the necessities of life, which are: number 1, life itself; number 2, religion; number 3, intellect; number 4, lineage; number 5, wealth. This is not the best order to put it in, but this is in random order, but it protects these 5 things. Thank you, and see you later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, peace be upon you.